Yeah, yeah, it was definitely a difficult test going up to North Texas and playing in Denton. They're always very, very good at home. Again, their team has been flying high, playing some quality soccer, getting some quality results. I think the schedule benefited them early on in the conference season. Played maybe some of the weaker teams, if you will, but nonetheless, they're winning the games that they're playing, and that's what you got to do. And I think they've been doing a fantastic job of that. Um, so we knew we were going to have our hands full. We knew we needed to defend very, very well. I was really proud of a player like Izzy Peters, who had played limited minutes up to this point in time, and we threw her in against, like you said, one of the most attacking minded teams in our league, and she stood tall as a freshman and played all 90 minutes and was really, really good for us. Then to suffer a little bit of a, you know, hiccup in the sense of Sasha Dade going down with an injury, had to shift some things around. Um, and I thought our players adapted very, very well in a difficult place and a difficult environment, and composed themselves, throughout the entire match to get an early goal, and then even more so than that, after we gave up a goal, that they tied it on. Our quick response, I think it was 22 seconds after they scored, we ran right back down and gained the lead back to go up 2-1. Jordan Walker getting her first goal of the season was crucial and critical. And our kids fought all the way till the end. Unfortunately, we gave up a late goal that was a fantastic finish. Um, to see out the 2-2 draw. But had you told me prior to the game that we were going to go in there and potentially pull a point on the road against a very difficult team with as many injuries and as banged up as we are at this point in time, would have taken it. So proud of our players and how they, conducted themselves, and they've earned the much needed rest. Had a good session last night, and we're definitely getting ready for Tulsa and Charlotte this week.
Go ahead and jump
Coach,
in, Sean.
thank you, Michael. Coach, obviously you played him a number of times, but is there anything special about going up against your alma mater in Tulsa?
Just other than I recognize the colors. No, obviously I've got a ton of fond memories and playing at Tulsa, growing up there, going to school there. It was really neat last year for sure to go back on campus, not only where I played, but where my coaching career in the college game started. It was unique to be able to kind of walk the players around and go, yeah, that's where I was in the dorms. That's where I played all my games. That's where I started my coaching career. So it was definitely special. But in this particular case, I know Jim well, and their coaching staff. Good team. I know they're going to be desperate to get a result on the road, so I know our players are going to be focused, and that's really where our attention is turned to. How do we prepare, and ultimately, how do we perform against a team that's similar to us in the standings at this point in time, and we need to protect our home field in front of a big crowd on Thursday.
Yeah, obviously students are very important for the environment at Park West, and Thursday is Greek night. Someone's in a fraternity or sorority here. Why would you encourage them to come on out for Greek night?
Yeah, my encouragement is just it's an absolute blast. I mean, I know we create a really fun, exciting culture and environment at Park West. We can come and be rowdy and pack the place and be as loud as possible. The band comes out. We want people lining the fence. We want people filling butts in the seats, and to create Park West as one of the most difficult places to play in our league. We've unfortunately dropped a couple close contests as of late at home, but I know our players love playing under the lights on a Thursday night, and I hope that all of the Greek system and both fraternities and sororities will show up as we celebrate them being a part of our culture, them being a part of our games, as well as being able to have our pink night and be able to play in front of a big home crowd.
You mentioned Jordan Walker and her goal. She's been a mainstay of your program, whether it's a starter or off the bench. What has she meant to your program throughout her career, and then specifically this season?
Yeah, it was pretty unique because as we're driving the bus up to Denton, we go through Fort Worth, and right before we get to Fort Worth, we get to a little old town called Burleson, which is where she's from. And I'll never forget her freshman year when we have the freshmen kind of introduce themselves and where they're from, and her country accent of Burleson comes out. And so, needless to say, as we're driving through, we're like, "Is this the home of Jordan Walker?" And so I was doing my best Southern country accent, I guess, and teasing her. But I know, Jordan is not just a tremendous person off the field, but she is a hardworking player on the field. And she definitely went through a little bit of a slump here midway through the season, was struggling for form. But I just kept telling her, hey, just go be you, go win the ball in the air, go be a dominant presence, be a monster that you are. The goals are going to come. And it was really special for her because that's about as close as we get to her hometown and playing there in Denton for her. And so she was big up for that. And, she had a bunch of family there supporting her, which was really cool. But she's one of our leaders. She's kind of a quiet leader, to be honest with you, although she plays big and plays, with a big presence on the field. She's a quiet leader. She's relationship driven, and she's very tight knit with all of our players on the team. As far as she's a big positive, encouraging individual for our team when players are going through struggles, and she's always been there for them. So it's a big key in our environment and in our locker room for our players.
Jasmine Ketzler came up really big in your last outing, and she's definitely proven at points this season that she can do that. When she is at her best, how impactful can she be to your team?
Yeah, I obviously as a former goalkeeper myself, goalkeepers, I learned a long time ago, can make or break you. And to be honest with you, our Jasmine Kessler has made us many times. We rely on her. We hope to only have to require 4 or 5 saves a game out of her, but as of late, it seems to be closer to 7 or 8. And that we need from her is 8, 9, 10 sometimes. But she's done a really good job. She's what I've loved about her here in her sophomore season is she's playing within herself, and she's continued to get better each and every game as we continue to ask more and more of her, not only with the saves that she's making and being able to deal with balls in the box and crosses, etc., those types of situations. But her kicking game is massive for us. Her being able to distribute the ball properly, get it to the players that we need her to get it to, so that we can even start an attack and create opportunities going the other way. So her leadership, and again, as she's grown in her leadership in the back line, being able to direct the players in front of her and really command a big presence in goal has been huge. I definitely think she is one of the top 3 or 4 goalkeepers in our league when she is playing at her best. And, hopefully we can rack up a few more shutouts before the end of the year for her.
What are you looking to see from both Tulsa and Charlotte, and how will you prepare for them?
Yeah, Tulsa plays a little bit of a different shape than maybe what we've seen as of late. They play in a 4-3-3. They've got a really good attacking group. Their front 4 or 5 players are a handful, and we've got to contain them. Jordan Frederick is a huge, talent for them. Hannah Chance coming off the bench, who's a transfer in from them from Oklahoma State, is a big player. So those 2 specifically, among others, we're going to have to pay attention to. I think their back line is okay. Goalkeeper solid. They're a good team, to be fair. Like, they just haven't been able to get the results. They scored a goal against North Texas and made it 3-1. They gave up a couple. They got a road win at Temple, which was never an easy place to go and play. So, again, they've got a win under their belt. They're sitting just below us, a point behind us in the standings. So I know they're desperate to come in here. And so I expect them to be hungry. I expect them to be energetic. I think it's going to be an intense game on Thursday night. And we, like I said, being at home and playing in front of our home fans is something we hope to helps us push us over the edge and being able to play in front of our home crowd. Going on the road to Charlotte, that Charlotte's a really a bit of an enigma this year, I guess, if you will. They're a really talented team. Everything I've watched on them in the film, although I haven't studied them a ton yet, but on film, they're a handful. they played a really, really strong non-conference schedule, played like 4 or 5 different Power 5 schools, and tested themselves early. And I think a little bit of that is, caused them to have maybe a dip in their confidence, but they're still a quality team, and we know we've got to go in there and be prepared for their best, there in Charlotte. So excited to be able to, have these 2 games coming up. Stop playing the top of the conference that we played the last couple games. But nonetheless, the beauty of this league is that it's extremely difficult. Every game is tight. Every game is a tough match. I mean, Charlotte got a tie against South Florida earlier than a year, and South Florida is one of the top teams in the league. So, both of these teams are going to be a handful. We just need to focus on ourselves, be the best version of us, and go out and take care of business.
Talk kind of as of late about your team being a little bit banged up. How do you think having this weekend off from competition will benefit them moving forward?
Nah, it came at a good time for us, to be honest. Was able to, after the results on Thursday night, give the team 48 hours off on Friday and Saturday. Came back to work last night, had a good session, really focusing on us and, getting some of these players back healthy. Not sure if we'll have all of them back yet, but we will. I know the ones that are playing definitely needed the rest as well, to be able to kind of get over some of these nicks and knocks that we have currently, and to build some confidence some of the players that we need to step up in these crucial last few games. So, it definitely has come an opportunity for us to kind of, if you will, unplug. I even unplugged a little bit myself on Saturday to be able to spend time with my family and, my daughters and my wife, and do some stuff together as a family, which is a good opportunity. I think that we all kind of needed an opportunity to recharge, and recalibrate, I guess, if you will. And, coming down the stretch with 4 weeks left, 5 games that are critical to this last little push. And I know our players are up for it, and they were excited to get back to training last night.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you,
Yep.
Michael.
Thank you. Good luck this week, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys.